In the first video about Extreme Collaboration for Smart Notebook, we covered how to install the software and also how to connect students to a session. In this video, we're going to look at actually using it in the classroom. The type of activity that you can do is indicated by this drop-down box, and we're going to start by looking at the random position activity. This is basically an activity where people can send words or short phrases to the board in the manner of a kind of brainstorming activity. When you're ready to start the activity, simply click the green box. As students respond to the activity and send their answers in, they'll appear as objects on the notebook page, as you can see happening here. The setting is they can actually send more than one word, which pedagogically makes a lot of sense because they may have more than one response to a question like this. As the questions appear, they are actually notebook objects, which means that they can be manipulated in the normal way. For instance, you can take the ideas of the group and start to sort them into some kind of order. Now the ideas are in, I can start to sort them, maybe putting the negative ones on the right hand side and the more ambivalent ones on the left hand side of the board. The beauty of an activity like this is, as the words come onto the notebook page, they're anonymous. So you are getting the thoughts of the group and the students are going to respond without necessarily having to justify their answers. However, if you want to take it to the next level, if you come across to the tab, you can actually reveal your student list. What you can do now is you could pick a particular contribution, for instance this one here, and see who actually made it. And likewise you could pick a particular student and you'll be able to see which answers they've actually handed in. Whilst we have the students list open, let's look at a couple of other features. The first one is that if you press this, you can insert the names of your students onto the notebook page. If you have a student who you don't want to take part in the activity, maybe because they're sending in inappropriate material, you don't need to disrupt your teaching session. You can simply hit the red cross and they'll be disconnected from the session and won't be able to take any further part. Further options are available from this drop-down arrow. For instance, you can actually switch off the ability of students to join a session. If you remove a student from the session, that's actually unchecked as a default, meaning they can't reconnect. But if you decide to let them back in at a later time, then simply hit that button and they can join again. If you want to stop your session altogether, press that button and your whole session will be cleared and all of the students will be taken out of that particular session. There are two variations to the random position activity. These are called list and stack. In list, the items are just listed. In the activity called stack, the students send their answers in and they all just stack on top of each other in the top left hand corner of the notebook page. When you're ready, you can start dragging them out and working with them. Another type of activity you can use in Extreme Collaboration is called List by Category. What this does is it will actually read the objects on your smartboard and by default it makes them into categories. The one thing I don't want to be a category here is food chains because it's the title of the activity. Now when students complete the activity, they'll be able to choose from a drop-down box on their device either producers, primary consumers or secondary consumers, and when the answers come in they will be listed under the appropriate headings.